I ain't never addressed this, but I'm gonna address it. I'm glad I waited to address this. I'm glad I waited a little bit for the 7 Mile and Gratiot stuff. Old buddy did respond in that video. Maybe I'll do a short on him, maybe I won't. Long story short, he wasn't from Detroit, he was from Hamtramck. I'm thinking a nigga from Toledo, Benton Harbor. You know what I mean? Monroe, Michigan. Marquette, Wisconsin, or some shit like that, right? Shout out to Bay City. Kalamazoo. But opening day was an atrocity, bro. Major League Baseball don't want nothing to do with black people. And that's just a fact. You know, all the people that you see in Major League Baseball are usually that look black. They're usually Caribbean descent, Dominican, Spanish, or something like that. I was just watching a video about CC Sabathia, and he was doing an interview, I think, with Matt Barnes on All the Smoke. And he got one of the best interviews today. He had a baseball interview, I think, with Ricky Davis. I forget the other guy he did an interview on All the Smoke. It's a great podcast interview with Mark Barnes and them, because it explains kind of what's the issue, what's going on with black Americans in baseball, and a lot of stuff. The Major League Baseball has no affiliation with the internet, or they have no ownership in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. That's a separate entity. It's a good video. I'm gonna try to remember to like link it in the description or something like that, right? So they don't really want black people in baseball. This is why they took a lot of the programs out of baseball. This is why travel baseball have become so expensive. And if you can't even afford travel baseball, then it become politics in the travel baseball, in which they don't want black people to integrate back into baseball. That's just what it is. They don't want the hip or the hop in baseball. Okay? They're perfectly fine with it, you know, being a third-rate sport. And that's just what it is, right? And for black people to say, well, I'm going down to opening day, that's not really your day to go down there. Usually you go down to opening day, it's a bunch of drunk, you know, Beckys and Brads throwing up, you know, getting drunk, fighting amongst each other. It's not something for black people. Let me say that first and foremost. And I said, oh, CJ, it's in Detroit. It's not for y'all. In past years, if you see anything go viral, it's a woman drunk, it's two Brads or two Beckys, a Becky and a Brad getting into it. That's what it's about. It's not really about us going down. And now, if you notice, there's been a huge integration of black women from Detroit going to baseball games downtown. Now, what they figured out, you know, could they be looking for the men, for the white men? Yes, but I'm not here to talk about that. They found out, most importantly, that the baseball tickets are cheap. And I get to drink and I get to sit outside for a minute and take pictures. So it's been a huge influctuation of black women from Detroit going to baseball games, and in general, single women going to the baseball games. They're looking for the men, right? You've seen an uptick in the last season or two, really the last season going into this season, so season and some change. But y'all showed y'all ass out there, and I can't show the video obviously on YouTube, but y'all fighting. In the majority, every fight that I seen was with females, and that's why I went back to the point. You're starting to see an uptick in females going to the baseball games because it's cheap and they're looking for men, white men in general. Just giving y'all a heads up. That's what it is. So now they going down to opening day, which they never cared about opening day, not ever. And when it used to be a day of kind of like white people calling off from work and they having they good time and they ignorance was shown, throwing up, fighting amongst each other. Okay, it's the usual. But now this year you see an uptick in black women. They fighting that fishbone. They fighting in front of the Tiger Stadium. They don't want this. This is one of the reasons. It's the perception that they don't want y'all in baseball. They don't want y'all in Major League Baseball. You know, and for y'all to go down there and act like animals, because I can say it because I'm black. Y'all were acting like animals. Y'all were acting like animals. And it was women after, and what you are seeing on social media is there's an uptick of women fighting. Not just black women, you see Spanish women, Becky's fighting. It's like, you know, women have become way more masculine. They fighting men, they fighting other women, they fighting cats, they fighting dogs, they fighting that cartoon cat dog and the mouse. It's like, why are they becoming so violent? What happened to being ladylike? Oh, is that too much like gender roles to happen? What's that like to be, carrying yourself like women? No guy ever say, "Oh, I'm gonna marry a woman because she can fight." No, it's not your job to protect. You know what I'm saying? What happened to just the, hey, oh, you mad? Okay, we got conflict resolution. We just gonna agree to disagree. Oh, my bad. Let's keep it moving. There's so many unhinged people who have emotional problems, who have anger problems, who don't know how to speak to people. A simple excuse me, or a simple my bad, how you diffuse stuff. And I really think a lot of people don't have any conflict resolution, man. They don't have any conflict resolution. You can diffuse a situation with kindness, bro. You bump me? Oh, excuse me. I might have to say, excuse me, oh, my bad. I didn't even notice I bumped. But no, bitch, who you bump? Woo, 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 woo. And now it's being belligerent. Not knowing how to let something go. And you'll see, oh, this is why we don't want to let them in baseball, or this is why. We're going to have a whole bunch of black men and their ghetto moms out there. This is why. That's not even your holiday. Y'all get out there, go to St. Pat, not even your holiday. Don't even know the history of the holidays, even though we got these phones in our hands. We got these phones in our hands and you don't even know the history of what you celebrating and wonder why you struggling spiritually. Why you wake up mad, you celebrating your own demise. But that's just a different video for a different day, just without this channel. But it was highly disappointing, man. It was highly disappointing. We got a bunch of single women, baby mamas outside because they want to have liberation, because they don't want to be wives. They don't want to sit at home. And a lot of them women are probably claim that they homebodies. How you a homebody? You out every day. You ain't kicked a home cooked meal in years. And this is what happened when the order has no structure, bro. You have a bunch of women outside who wasn't raised to be upstanding citizen, upstanding women. And you have guys that's just looking to bust a nut. Or you have guys that's just looking to chaperone their girls because they know how they are. And it's a recipe for disaster. When you put women in tight environments like downtown, with crowds downtown, getting drunk, not eating, when you put them in those environments, and also when you say they're highly disrespectful, sharp tongues, vulgar, no conflict resolution, it gets dangerous. And that's what you're seeing. It's dangerous, man. We have a whole bunch of women that's out of order. They want to be the man. They want to be just a girl. They want to be vulgar. They want to put their hands. They want to be disrespectful. And guess who you're running into? The very same men and women who, okay, no gender roles. Bam, right on your mouth. Oh, I'm going to fight disrespect with disrespect. I'm going to be vulgar with vulgar. And it's a recipe for disaster. You go down on opening day for whatever reason to have a good time. And it's a billion more things you can do than go down to opening day, have a good time. It's the last place that I want to be. Just on a regular open day when Brad and Becky is having a time, being drunk and throwing up, that's the last place I want to be. This is what happens when you have a bunch of single women who have the autonomy to do what they want to do. When they not at home, they not being productive wives, they not being mothers, they throwing their children on anybody they can find to take care of their children. They not on their purpose. They not fulfilling their purpose. And you give them the autonomy to do what they want to do. It is anarchy. It is self-destruction. And on top of that, guess what? When you don't have the utility, or you don't have the utilities, or you don't have the information, or you wasn't raised to be a wife, and you're disrespectful, you're vulgar, you think you could be the role of a man and a female. No, once you get out of body and you believe in putting your hands on somebody, male or female, in which they not pushing gender roles, guess what? These men and these women gonna put their hands on you, because guess what? They ain't got no sense. They ignorant. They don't have conflict resolution. They weren't raised to be husbands. They weren't raised to be wives. And don't say you throw weapons into it, knives, Glocks, 9mm, 2.5s, 2.2s. It's a dangerous situation, bro. Very dangerous. And you seeing it's out of order. And then a lot of these women will claim that they Christians, Muslims, Islam, Buddhists. They claim that they're righteous people, and you're not living a righteous life, and you're raising your children not to be righteous, to walk in your schools, to be single, miserable, disrespectful, and the whole thing, man. I preach to this about the city of Detroit, man, all the time. How you need to get out and vote. How you need to know who your city councilman is. How you need to know who your treasurer is. I preach it all the time. The importance of local voting, at least. And knowing what's going on. And I said it before, the city deserves to get gentrified because y'all don't care. But hey, check out the current Detroit news playlist. Hit the link in the description. Find me everywhere. So the link tree is right under that one. The link that say after Find Me Everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, X, the whole nine. Probably X the fastest way to get in touch with me, then Facebook. I'm rarely on Instagram. Peace.